President Trump told a Fox News reporter earlier this week that he is, quote, seriously considering making Venezuela the 51st state of the union. Now, the acting president in Venezuela defended the country's territory and rejected those remarks from President Trump. But it got us thinking about what that process might look like, what the implications of that would be, what the fallout of it would be as well for other countries and other territories that have there have been discussions about statehood as well. And so we wanted to bring in an expert here to provide us a little bit of analysis and a little bit of context for us here today. So we're pleased to be joined by UCF history professor Dr. Luis Martínez-Fernández, joining us live now via Zoom. Doctor, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
So first, I just want to get your initial thoughts. And when we heard these remarks, this statement from President Trump about making Venezuela the 51st state, as far as what that might mean, what that might look like.
Well, the process for statehood is very complicated. The first case was the state of Vermont back in 1791, and it requires several steps. First of all, to gain control over the territory through expansion. Secondly, to turn it officially into a territory of the United States. And then after that, it would be Congress that would vote a new state into the Union. Of course, it has happened many times, and it has been very controversial. The last time it happened was in 1959.
And so in the case of Venezuela, with the acting leader there kind of rejecting that, that would certainly be an obstacle in this case.
Definitely, because in the past cases, I mean, we can look at Puerto Rico, for example, where a sizable chunk of the voters would like Puerto Rico to become a state of the United States. But in the case of Venezuela, we would be talking about an imposition which would be unacceptable for everybody. And I would say that it doesn't strike me as a serious proposition at all.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Puerto Rico because we know Puerto Rico, the District of Columbia, there have been a lot of conversations about them potentially gaining statehood over the years, and nothing has happened. And so I'm curious what maybe the difference is in those situations, why nothing has been done, or what obstacles kind of stand in the way when you're talking about DC and Puerto Rico.
Well, nothing has happened because a move in that direction would have enormous consequences, beginning with the balance of power in Congress. Remember, back in the 1800s, states would join the Union in pairs, one pro-slavery, the other anti-slavery, and that sort of maintained the balance of power until around the 1820s. In the case of Alaska and Hawaii, both joined in 1959, Hawaii as a Democratic state, Alaska as a Republican. But it would alter everything. And that's why in a Congress where it's so hard to get people to agree on anything, a move in that direction is virtually impossible, not to mention the fact that the people of Puerto Rico have not overwhelmingly desired an union as a state. In the case of D.C., around 90% of the population would like D.C. to become a state. But if both become states, it would be two democratic states. And of course, Republicans would not want that to happen. But the story about Venezuela is not serious at all. That would be even more complicated.
And so what you're saying is just kind of overall, would it be unlikely to have, regardless of who it might be, would it be unlikely then to have a 51st state without essentially having a counterbalancing 52nd state?
That's the way I see it. That's the way it has been historically. And then there's the issue. Remember when Texas became a state? First, it was a territory, and there were talks about numerous states being carved out. That's another way of creating a state. Technically, a state like California could be divided into two states, and that would be 4 senators and whatever number of representatives. I don't see that happening. I think it's a waste of time to talk about that. It will not happen. And first of all, the factors are not there. The people of Venezuela don't want that.
When we talk about this and all the different factors that go into this, it is not an easy process, very clearly. There is so much that has to kind of go into this. Not just the process itself, but like you said, the considerations as well that kind of lead up to that. Do you ever see the United States going beyond the 50 states we have now, given that process, given the fact how hard it is to get things, even potentially routine legislation, across the finish line in Congress? Do you ever see the United States expanding beyond that number of 50 states?
Well, I can't see that far into the future. What I can tell you is that the last time it happened was in 1959, and there's a contention. If we let Puerto Rico become a state, it's a democratic state, 2 senators plus maybe 4 representatives. Republicans don't want that. Then if you add, the thought that Venezuela would become a Republican-leaning state is just outrageous.
So what's the bottom line here, Dr. Martínez-Fernández? What do you want people to know when they think about this, when they hear this, when they see this, as they're watching this interview?
Well, the founding fathers created a wonderful Swiss watch with great movement, including balance of power provisions and the like. And we're trying to smash that piece of jewelry. It won't happen. And I don't know why people are even talking about it.
Well, Dr. Luis Martínez-Fernández, UCF history professor, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your expertise. I think this has been an enlightening conversation to talk about. So I appreciate you joining us here on Florida Live. Fascinating stuff. Anytime we're talking about history, there's just so many things that are interesting to talk about. I think this is one of them. We appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.